All right, let's head down this rabbit hole a little deeper and talk about why I want to make my wrestlers high level Olympic lifters. I'm going to argue that Olympic lifting and wrestling are the same road. Okay, if you look at the biomechanics of the human body, there's certain athletic attributes that both athletes need. And all athletes, depending on their sport, I'm talking sports that need speed, strength, okay, like football, basketball, even baseball. It's baseball, you got to steal base, you got to be fast for that, and you got to be quick with the bat, you got to be quick with the ball. All right, if you're fielding, you need to have good reflexes and balance and agility. So we have to define what we are after with our athletes. And when you boil this down to the bottom, you realize that certain athletes, certain sports are after the same thing. Gymnasts, Olympic weightlifters, wrestlers, there's fundamentals that they're all after, the same thing. So their training, their strength training, their conditioning can cross over and be extremely similar. So we're going after agility, and that is paramount. You really got to think deep on this when analyzing a wrestler and analyzing Olympic weightlifting. Most people don't have a definition for agility. They think it's running cones. That's not a definition. That's running cones. Okay, what about running the cones is agility? All right, and here's a quick and easy one. It's change of direction. What's changing direction? Well, if you boil it all the way down to the micro, it's your joint. All right. If I move my forearm that way, I'm extending. Okay, see if we can get that in the camera. I pull it back, I'm flexing. Forearm goes that direction, then it comes this direction. How good at that am I? Doesn't matter if it's a leg or an arm, it's agility. In and out, in and out. When we're running, the leg is going in and out. Right? When we're boxing, the arm is going in and out. So that's actually agility. Each joint can demonstrate agility. All right. We've all seen people that are clumsy, try to run the cones, don't do it so well. Their joints aren't good at extending and flexing repeatedly with accuracy, precision, speed, and strength. Okay, because that's the key. It's like, okay, once you get good at running those cones with your body weight, here's a vest. Here's a 20-pound vest. Now do it at the same speed. See if you can. All right. If you can't, maybe that'll be our goal. You're going to do these cones until you can do that same speed with the vest on. All right. Because if you watch, this is what's incredible about Olympic weightlifting. And if you haven't tried it, you just don't know. You say, what's the big deal? It's like, go try. Okay. Watch the speed in Olympic weightlifting. They go up, they go down into a full squat, catch the bar, and come right back up. And the going up on the first pole is impressive, but coming out of the hole in the squat with 400 pounds over your head in an overhead squat position is the epitome of athlete. Maybe the hardest thing in the world to do. And look at the static hold. He's got 175 kilograms overhead, which is like 385 pounds. Most of you can't do that with a 95-pound barbell. I've tested it with hundreds of people. Can't do it with an empty barbell because you're lacking mobility in the shoulders. You're not used to bringing your arms overhead, which is bad. You should have a full range of motion in every joint if you're an athlete. Otherwise, you're handicapping yourself, especially in wrestling. Okay? And then your deltoids and rotator cuffs, pecs, traps, everything that stabilizes that overhead are not coordinated and weak. Okay, so let's take a couple look at a couple of these. I want you guys to watch the change of direction. We're going after, oh, that's a beautiful clean right there. We're going after agility, right? He went up and he went down, and if you blink, you miss it. When he goes down under the bar, that's called a third pull. You're actually pulling yourself under. You're changing direction. You're hitting maximal height. Your hip extending, triple extending. The ankles, knees, and hips. Explosion, just like you would in a double leg, in a shot, or when you suplex somebody, when you lift somebody, throw them and rest. Okay? Getting up. Good posture, strong back, strong posterior chain. All right? With, it's probably got close to 500 pounds on that bar. Probably 465, something like that. And he weighs maybe 180. I'm not sure. You can tell by his size he's not a heavyweight. Okay, but he's doing heavyweight weight. He's doing weight that heavyweight wrestlers can't do. This man is stronger than most heavyweight wrestlers. Okay, everything about the Olympic lift and what it produces is something a wrestler is after. Okay, the pressing strength that you need, the squatting strength that you need, the posterior back strength that you need to be able to do a lift like this at this weight. Okay, so we're after the strength, which I've heard people, I actually heard somebody the other day argue Olympic lifting is not about strength, it's about speed and accuracy, something like that. And that needs, apparently that needs clarification. How to define strength. All right, strength is simply in a practical world, in a real world setting, it's the productive use of contractile forces. Productive use. Okay, I may have like strong back muscles, but if I don't know how to use them, they're useless. I am weak. I can't do anything other than pose on a stage and flex them. Okay, so you have to add skill to your definition of strength. You have to add skill. And in Olympic weightlifting, you're training this skill. Not only do your muscles have tremendous contractile forces, the muscle cells themselves, you know how to manipulate your muscular skeletal system in a way to produce maximal torque. All right, nothing trains you better than Olympic weightlifting when it comes to productive use of force. Okay, because if you don't do it right, you miss. You will dump that barbell. You won't get it overhead. You'll stumble across the stage and drop that barbell. if you don't have the core stability, the leg strength, the balance to hold this overhead long enough for the judges to complete the lift, to lock both elbows, straighten the body. All right. It just goes on and on how important these lifts are. We'll take another look at it. Not just the clean and jerk, the snatch also. 83 kilograms. That's how much he weighs. 180 pounds. Wow. That's over 385. That's tremendous. You guys, if you guys haven't done Olympic lifting, you need to. You need to get an appreciation for this. This man, for example, is infinitely stronger than this man. Infinitely. Okay. That little kettlebell toss is great. It's a great movement. It's good training. All right. I would put this in a conditioner because it's low, it's lightweight. You can do it a million times. All right, let's see this move again because this type of moves people go ooh and ah over. You know, it's an Olympic lift in my mind with a kettlebell. All right, it's a variation. It's a full body explosive movement. It's a plyometric. He's throwing that thing. Now he's going to extend the hips. He's going to do a triple extension here with the ankle, knee, hip. All right. He's going to activate his posterior chain. He's going to lift his arms over his head. Okay. Shoulder raise. Maybe do like a snatching motion with lazy elbows. All right. And launch that sucker. All right. This is actually low skill. People think this is high skill. No, I could teach a kid to do this in an afternoon, and it would look pretty dang good. And we could put it on a highlight reel, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's awesome," because you don't get any negative feedback from that kettlebell. You can be off a centimeter with your foot placement here or there. Be off a centimeter. You can mess up the timing a little bit between the hip extension and the shoulder extension. You can mess that time. You can be inaccurate on these movements. This is super important. You really have to write this down. You really have to drill this. You can be inaccurate with this movement and you wouldn't know. There's no negative feedback. You just don't know. The kettlebell will still fly. Okay? You come back to a lift like this, if you're inaccurate slightly, you're not standing this up. If you're inaccurate with the timing of your ankles, knees, and hips, and the technique, the placement of each bone in your body, you're going to miss this lift. You're going to get negative feedback. That's important, guys. That's so important. If that bar is not perfectly placed over the center of his feet, if his chest is not perfectly placed under that bar, all right, if his shoulder blades aren't pinched together, if his knees aren't pushed out, if he buckles his knees in, okay, if the heel comes up, all right, there's all kinds of elements of precision that you need in order to pull this lift off, and you get instantly told you did it wrong by the barbell. It'll crash. You won't be able to stand it up. And you wouldn't believe how light that barbell can be, and still it will tell you you did it wrong. You try to do that with 135 pounds and you don't do the right technique, it's going to come crashing down on you. It doesn't matter if you're a 200-pound man that can shoulder press 225 pounds. 135-pound snatch will still humble you and show you just how unathletic you are and how weak you are. Let's see another one here. This is good. All right, so what I want you to see here, that was a good pause. It's like he's as tall as he can get. He's activated his posterior chain. He's extended the ankle, knees, and hips. He's hipped in. Okay, look at that hip in position. Hip is into the bar. That transfers all over the place in wrestling. When you hip in to counter a shot, when you're sprawling, you want to hip into the guy. You want to nail the guy in his head or in his shoulders with your hips. You're going to hip in. You're going to straighten your legs just like that as you're driving your hip into him and sprawling. Okay, whenever you do any type of explosive attack like a double leg or a throw, you're going to pass through this shape. The shape of your body will look like this. And if you can do this with 212 kilos, which is what? It's like 465, something like that. 465 pounds. This dude's like 180. He's 83 kilograms. What is that? It's like 180, 190 pounds. He's smaller than me. All right. Infinitely stronger than I am. Now here's why I'm beating this to death. The reason he can do this is he's a skilled mover. He knows how to maximize torque. Each joint produces torque. Joints are rotational. And if you don't know how to position, like in a double leg, you need to position your hips under the guy if you're going to lift. If you're going to shoot and hit double and lift, you need to get those hips under him. Look where he's got the hips on the bar. That's why newbies screw up double leg takedowns. They don't know where to put their hips. They don't know where to put their feet. They don't know what shape to put their core in. They don't know how to do micro movements. Like he's got to push these shins back. As he leg drives this off the floor, those shins got to move back. You can't, it's hard to see here, but they got to get out of the way of the bar. He's got to hit a vertical shin position. And he's got to maintain core. The shoulders got to stay above the hips. We all see people who do a good morning. A stripper pull is what you call it. The butt comes up and it gets level with the shoulders. That's bad. That's bad in lifting. That's bad in wrestling. If I let my butt come up while I'm trying to lift a double leg, he's just going to stuff my head and sprawl on me. It's going to be too easy for him. But if I'm maintaining this posture right here that you see in this video, he's not stopping that double leg. He's not stopping that throw. If I got a body lock, why is my camera just not good position? I got a body lock. Okay, and I good posture, hips in, boom, triple extension, pop those hips. Like I've trained them to do with a 350-pound clean. I could never do even come close to this man. All right, but guess what? Because I can do over 300 pounds on a clean, I trained it to be as strong as I could with the time that I had, because I was dedicating myself to other drills and skills. Never was a specialist in Olympic weightlifting like this guy. This is all he does. So I don't ever expect a wrestler to be as strong as him. But you can take his training protocols and turn yourself into a freak. All right? And if you don't do his training protocols, you'll never come close to his freakiness. If all you ever do is this and substitution of your Olympic lifting, it's not good. All right, we got to get a heavier load, and we got to get something that immediately tells you did it wrong. Like this tornado ball move. Great conditioner, great for core, fantastic, but they're comparing it to a toss here. It's really not comparable. And in context of an Olympic lift, right, he's going to toss this barbell up in the air. Okay. It's like, come on now. That is power. That's strength. That's coordination. Okay, that's speed. Then he's going to get under it like lightning. Boom. and he's going to catch it on the shoulders, and he's going to have a strong enough core, strong enough squatting position, okay, which this comes up in wrestling all the time. Full range of motion at the ankles, knees, and hips. That's crucial for a wrestler, okay? If you can maintain this athletic position with 465 pounds crashing onto your shoulders, how easy is tossing this man going to be? And I've proven in my own life. I told you, like, one of my favorite stories was picking a guy up when he tried to put a triangle choke on me. Professional mixed martial artist. He squealed. He's like, no. He didn't want power bombed. But it wasn't even hard. It didn't tax me, guys. I got a 550-pound deadlift, 320-pound clean and jerk, getting my hips up under him and just picking him up. Child's play. Okay? If you don't train maximal loads, then you're leaving some strength in the bank. Okay, and not, once again, don't get me wrong, not saying Kyle Dake is weak. Clearly, he's strong enough for wrestling. And I've said this before. I'll just, sorry for being repetitive, but every sport has its entry level of strength that you need in order to compete, and what complicates issues even more is that entry level of strength can be in reference to the wrestler's other abilities, the other criteria. So in my mind, in wrestling, you need strength, okay, which encapsulates power too, speed. All right, strength. You need skills, wrestling skills, and just general moving skills, agility, balance, coordination. You need skills, all right, and you need an engine. You need endurance, local muscular endurance, plus cardiorespiratory endurance, your lungs and your heart. All right, and then the other factor that just makes sports so fun to watch is the heart and soul, the monster inside that individual. The size of, what they say, the size of the fight in the dog. Okay, that's what makes it such a spectacle to watch. It's like he could be behind. It's how powerful that fourth one is. Is he could be behind on strength, skills, and engine, and still have enough monster in him to clutch the win, steal the win, essentially. Okay, so Dake is strong enough. However, if he does not do heavy loads, extreme to an extreme, to his own reference, to his own ability, his own body, like 300 pounds is extreme for me on cleans, not for Puros Demos. But if I want to be a freak on the mat, I want to maximize those four categories: strength, skills, engine. I want to maximize it. I don't want to leave anything in the bank. So with the time that I have allotted for strength, I'm going to get as strong as I can. And that means picking the right movements. If you don't pick the right movements, you won't be as strong as you could be, period. All right? If you do stuff like this, you will reap the same benefits he did, according to the time that you put in. If you put in 50% of the time that he put into Olympic lifting, you'll get 50% of the benefits, which is tremendous for a wrestler. All right, now look, he's holding 465 pounds over his head like it's nothing. He's holding a heavyweight wrestler. And he only weighs 108 pounds. Something much heavier than a heavyweight wrestler. Teaches a man a little bit of wrestling, he'd be scary on the mat. And that's another thing, is it would be easy to teach him wrestling. It would be easy because he's already a good mover. I like Piros. When you do this double leg, I want you to shoot in, grab the bag of his legs, put your shoulder in his gut. Okay. And then I want you to get your hips in like you're going to do a clean. And I want you to pick him up and dump him just like this. And I swear by the end of the day, he'd have it down as if he was a 3-year wrestler. By the end of the day, you're like, oh, like this? It's like, I know these kind of movements. I've done this a billion times. And the guy he's lifting would feel like a feather. He wouldn't struggle with the guy's body weight. He wouldn't struggle with coordination or agility. Like I said, changing direction with his joints, because you got to shoot in, right? You got to go down, then you got to go up, and then you go back down, and then you're going to scramble all over the place. Agility. Hopefully we'll get a snatch in here. Yeah, I want to see this. Okay, so first pull is to the knees. All right, this is a deadlift. This is strength. This is just brute strength. People say Olympic lifts is not about strength, it's about speed. It's like, first of all, a snatch grip deadlift is the hardest deadlift you can do. So just deadlifting that weight, most wrestlers can't even deadlift that with a snatch grip. Can't. Grip's too weak, back's too weak. Everything would snap. Okay. Now, notice how he's using the whole body just like this. It's so sinking fast, I can't even pause it. That's how fast he's moving. 175, that's 385, I think. 385 pounds. Okay. And then like a ninja, he's changing directions again. They have supreme agility. People will be like, no. Running backs have agility. These guys don't have agility. It's like, yes, this is agility. Agility locally is simply changing directions with a joint. Okay. And you see it in wrestling all over the place. So he's down, catches, train overhead squats, guys. Train them. I have them here. Train them. All right. If you're 180 pounds, you should be able to do a 300-pound overhead squat. If you're elite, okay. If you guys are not, if you're not the best in your state, if you're not a national level wrestler, if you're just starting out, these types of numbers I'm always telling you are your life goal. Okay, the best overhead squat I ever did was 305. All right, I wanted to get to 315. I don't think I ever actually made it. Okay, it's hard. It takes so much balance, so much coordination, flexibility, range of motion is key, guys. All right, look how his knees are completely flexed. Guess what? In wrestling, let's look up Kyle Dake highlights. Let's check out this range of motion. Oh, these are old. Okay. We got, what was that? Look. All right. More back strength required. There's so much back strength required in wrestling. If you have a sick amount of back strength, there was a Italian kid. Where was he from? I don't think he was Penn State, but he would brag about having a 600-pound deadlift, and he's also I think he was also an NCAA champion. That's no coincidence, guys. Make your posterior chain, your back, from your calves to your traps, formidably strong. All right. And another reason you want to make that formidably strong is that guy weighs the same as you. So he would weigh 210 if I'm wrestling. I weigh 210. And I can deadlift 550 and clean 320. then every time I grab a hold of him, body lock him, and pick him up, it's a fraction of my maximal strength. Not only will I be able to do it, it won't tax me. It won't take a lot of energy. I'll be able to do it again. But if my back is weak and it's a maximal lift for me, I'm only going to be able to do it once, twice. It's going to gas me. And then fatigued wrestlers lose. Okay, so let's check out range of motion. We're always flexing the knees at full range of motion. And then guess what? We got to get out of there. We got to move. Do you want to move fast and powerful out of this kind of position, or do you want to move weak and feeble out of this position? All right, we got to get out of there. See, he's already out. He already extended. He's trying to move this dude's body. I'm going to pick him up using his full body. Ankles, knees, and hips. Posterior chain. Trying to get a toss. Okay. I would argue, if he had 320-pound clean and jerk, he would have already tossed this guy. I know I would have. I've done it. No problem. I've freaked people out in wrestling rooms, college wrestling rooms, professional mixed martial arts rooms with my ability just to fling bodies. Just fling them. Okay? It's like a cheat code. All right. Full ankle flexion, full knee flexion. Then he's going to pop right into ankle, knee, and hip extension. See the theme here, guys? Full flexion, full extension. Full flexion, full extension. So important. And I beat this dead horse because I can't believe how many athletes think I don't need to train this part of my athleticism. I can do quarter squats and have powerful athletic legs. You can't. All right, you got to do squats like this. Okay, full knee hip flexion all the way down and then pop right out of the hole. Look how he comes right back up. This is scary, guys. I wouldn't want to wrestle a guy like this. If he could do Olympic lifts like this and he's a good wrestler, I don't want to touch him. Boom, right out of the hole. That's agility plus strength. That's strong agility. Okay, you got track stars. Some of them are, I don't know if this how true this is relevant to their body weight, because there are track stars that lift a tremendous amount, like Ben Johnson. He could squat 600 pounds. Okay, and he beat who was our Olympic lifter back then? It was a big debacle because he took steroids to squat 600 pounds and sprint as fast as he did. But if you can go down in a hole with a bar over your head like this and maintain that much stability and strength, then you can go down into a hole like this and get right back out of it, no problem. All right, this is way more challenging, requires more coordination, agility, speed, power, strength. Okay, than this. Okay, powering out of here. Does that make sense? Gonna get right back up, no problem. Lift, slam. Okay, so I think that'll do. Please, if you have questions, I'll do a Q&A. I'm just going off the cuff here, and I'm trying to give you guys as much ammo as possible to pull the trigger on stuff like this. There are trolls when it comes to Olympic weightlifting. They say it's one of the reasons not to do it, which is insane, is it's a highly skilled movement. And then hand in hand with that means it's dangerous. Okay. The highly skilled thing is not an argument not to do it. It's an argument to do it. Because the same skills you'll learn in order to control this barbell will transfer directly to controlling this human. Directly. The biomechanics are the same. Okay, the torque, learning how to position your skeleton and hold posture, and the footwork, keeping the pressure balanced between your heels and your toes. There's all kinds of elements. Okay, and as far as all these details go, if you need help with it, I'll help you with it. We can do some online training. You can send me videos, and we can discuss things over Zoom. Just get a hold of me, and we can set that up. And I post videos all the time. If you guys want to see the variations, how we put it into strength work, how we put it into conditioners. This is a conditioner actually. So those are elements of an Olympic lift. You got the power clean, the front squat, and the shoulder to overhead push press here. Do 3-3-3 20 times every minute on the minute. And you're getting everything essentially knocked out at once. Strength, endurance, speed, power, stamina, all at once. Okay, learning how to pop those hips, hip in, agility, up and down, more agility work, leg drive, core. All right, speed and power here, pop it up overhead, boom, explode. Flex the knees and hit, pop, agility, down, up. Okay, so I'm always forgetting something. So be don't be afraid to post questions in the comments. Get a hold of me. Force me to clarify things, because I also don't want these videos to be 3 hours long. So stay after it, kill it, do your best, all that good stuff.